Hello everyone, this is Dave from Dave's Recent Things. You have been waiting 365 days for it. All of the comments are like, when's it happening? When's this coming up? When? What am I talking about? Wreathmas Week 2025. What is that all about? It is when we take Christmas and wreaths, mix it all together, and we get the word Wreathmas for one full week of wreaths. 7 days, 7 wreaths, plus that bonus wreath right at the very end, totaling 8 consecutive episodes. Are you all set for Wreathmas Week 2025? I know I am. Why don't I just get started and I'll show you what I made for day number 1. Today I'm going to be using a 14-inch wire wreath frame along with this 5-inch by 21-foot burlap in green and in red, some 6-inch cable ties, and I found this 2.5-inch wired ribbon in my stash. What a score! And of course my regular crafting utensils to create this project today. And here is your shopping list with everything that I used. You can take a screenshot of that so you can go out and buy your products. I am first going to start by cutting my deco mesh. I'm going to cut my burlap at 10 inches. So this is 5-inch wide burlap garland, and I'm cutting it at 10 inches. So I'm going to be cutting 24 pieces at 10 inch of both the red and the green burlap, so a total of 48 pieces. And I'm just going to continue cutting those until I get my 48 pieces. Once that's done, we're just going to go over the wire frame. They have 4 wires that go all the way around the entire frame with the crossbars that section it off into sections. So there's 6 sections in total, and I'm going to be using the 2 inside wires. So first, I'm just going to use my cable ties, and what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to wrap it around that innermost inside wire. So it's the second wire from the inside, and I'm just going to attach a cable tie there. Now I'm not going to pull it really tight. I'm going to leave a little loop, and I'm going to leave the end as well. We don't want to cut anything off. So I'm going to do that 4 times on this wire. So it's the second inside wire, and then I'm going to work on the second outside wire, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm adding 4 of those cable ties on there on the inside, and then 4 on the outside as well. So that's a total of 8 per section on those 2 middle wires. So I'm just adding those cable ties on there, prepping it, and you can see here they're all attached on there. It does get a little bit loose. You can do one at a time if you want. I like to do all 8 at the same time, but it really doesn't matter. So my first bundle, I'm going to attach on that inside wire, so I'm going to prep that. Grab my burlap, fold it in half long side, squish it right in the middle. Then what I'm going to do is squish it at the bottom, gather it together, another squish at the top, gather it together. So we're basically gathering it at that cut end. Then I'm going to take that end and slip it right in between that cable tie that we attached on the inside wire. And I'm going to pull that nice and tight, making sure it's a good connection. Cut the excess off, and we have our first bundle all set. So my first one is red, and I'm going to go back and forth. So I'm going to go on the inside wire, then I'm going to go on the outside wire, and then I'm going to switch between red and green. So we grab that burlap again, fold it in half, pinch it right in the center, another couple of pinches at the bottom, a couple pinches at the top, gathering it together, and that's going to create our little bundle. Then we take that cable tie on the outside wire, overlap the previous burlap bundle with the green bundle, and then cut the excess off. So that's going to be my pattern that I'm going to work on. I'm going to work from a zigzag pattern, inside, then outside, then inside, then outside, and I'm alternating between the red and the green. So all of the inside wires are going to be red, and all of the outside wires are going to be green. Now you can use any colors that you want. You can use a natural burlap. You can use 1 color, 2 colors. It all depends on what you want. But here I flipped it over, and you can see I've got 4 on the inside, 4 on the outside, a total of 8 per section. I'm fluffing it up a little bit just to kind of see how it's going. I love how this is. So now I've done one section and I'm going to finish all 6 sections the exact same way. And here we are. I'm just going to fluff it up a little bit. I have finished all my sections with that red and the green burlap, and I am loving this wreath so far. And really, I want the burlap to shine, so I don't want to put too much on here. All I'm really going to do is make a bow for this. And for that, I'm taking 2.5-inch wired ribbon, and I'm going to measure out 18 inches, and then I'm going to measure out a little bit more to 22 inches. So I'm cutting at the 22-inch mark. I'm going to do 2 of those at 22 inches. Then I'm going to cut at 18 inches, and I'm going to do 2 of those, and I'm going to cut another one. I show here at 10 inches, but I ended up cutting it down to 8 inches. So a total of the ribbon cuts for the 2.5-inch wired ribbon, I'm cutting 2 pieces at 22 inches, 2 at 18 inches, and 1 piece at 8 inches. That's going to create the bow that you see right here on the screen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the 18 inches. This is going to be our tail. I'm going to fold it in half long ways, then fold it in half short ways. Then I'm going to take my scissors and cut on an angle, creating a dovetail. With that, I'm going to take all of my pieces and I'm going to use my stapler. If you want, you can use a hot glue gun. That's totally fine. I'm just going to use my stapler today. I don't feel like burning my fingers. And I'm going to create little tubes or little discs with each one of those. With the seam in the middle and facing down, I'm just going to lay my first piece down, crisscross the second piece, and these are the 22-inch pieces that I'm using first. Grabbing that 18 piece, putting it right in the center, then grabbing that 8-inch piece, putting that right at the middle as well. So I'm going to take it up, look at it, see how it goes. I'm going to grab a cable tie, and I'm just going to slide that cable tie right through that small 8-inch bow. Then I'm going to take our 18-inch piece, which is our tail, fold it in half, create a little V shape with that so I know where the center is. Put that face down right in the middle of our bow, gather up that material, and then I'm going to put together that cable tie. I'm not going to tie it tight just yet because I'm going to feed a pipe cleaner right through that as well. That's how I'm going to attach it to our wire wreath frame. Cut that excess of the cable tie, flip it over, and then of course, you know my favorite thing, it's fluffing time. We are going to fluff up that bow and just make it fluffy and beautiful. And like I said, I found this in my stash, so I was really surprised when I found it. I'm like, I'm using this today for a beautiful bow. I'm going to bring back our burlap wreath, and we have our bow all made. And now all I'm going to do is attach it to our wire wreath frame. So I like to pick it up, make sure where I want it is exactly perfect. And well, I shouldn't say exactly perfect, but close to perfect anyways. Feed that pipe cleaner through the back, twist it a couple of times, cut off the excess, and our bow is nice and attached. And since I squished it a little bit, you know, I got to go back and fluff it up again. And you know I'm going to fluff up that wreath. I'm going to fluff up that bow as well. Because I'm addicted to it. And I know a lot of you out there are as well. Here is our final result, that gorgeous color of that ribbon, this 2.5-inch wired ribbon. The red and the green burlap just really makes this shine and make this a beautiful classic colored burlap wreath for your front door or above your mantle or wherever you want to throw it up. Here it is on my door in all of its glory. I am in love with this, and I hope you like this wreath as well. Day number 1 is over with the Wreathmas week, but don't forget the link down below to bring you to the playlist for all of the episodes of Wreathmas week 2025. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new project. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.